Hey, folks, welcome to the Long Island Sound podcast. I'm your host, Steve Yusko, and I've just devoured probably one of the most insightful interviews I've heard in ages. And we're talking about the legend, the iconoclast David Byrne, fresh off the release of his excellent new album, Who is the Sky? Hey, kudos out to Rolling Stone for this insightful interview. Stick with us as we draw down on 7 specific highlights of the interview. This conversation, which I am enthusiastically endorsing, is really, if you're a musician or an artist or anyone interested in creative longevity, you have to read or listen to this. Byrne does a deep dive into everything from his newest collaboration to his legendary Talking Head days and his philosophy on life, music, and the album Who is the Sky. It's fascinating. It actually originated from a misheard text-to-speech lyric algorithm that got the phrase wrong. But the slight error led to a concept that fits the whole album, which is full of songs where Byrne asks the big questions. Who am I? Who is this? And why do we do this? He notes this is often the central theme, despite his storied and long career. You would think at his age, he'd know who he is. But he says no, we're always still figuring it out, and we'll never really know the answers. That sense of searching and that willingness to look outward and inward is what makes this interview such gold for us creatives. Hey, I want to pull out 7 specific highlights from the interview that I think will serve as indispensable tips for every artist and musician out listening today. By the way, if you like what we're doing here on the Long Island Sound, hey, please comment and share your thoughts and hit that subscribe button and share with your friends. It really goes a long way. Tip number 1, embrace the unexpected inspiration. As mentioned, directly from the algorithm getting a voice-to-text command slightly wrong, he saw the phrase on his phone and immediately thought, that's a beautiful phrase, and put it on his list of album titles. The tip, stop dismissing mistakes or random occurrences. Sometimes the greatest breakthrough in your creative process comes from a simple technical error or misheard lyric. Don't force creativity. Let the accidental inputs guide you. Tip number 2, see your identity as a continuous project. If David Byrne, who has made some of the most influential music in the past 50 years, is still asking, who am I? Then we can take the pressure off. He explicitly states, quote, we're always still figuring it out. Still figuring out who we are and where we belong. The tip, don't chase a fixed image of yourself and let your uncertainty about identity not be obstacles. They're the engines of new material. Tip number 3, find the profound in your private space. Byrne wrote the song, My Apartment is My Friend, after the intensity of the pandemic era. During a harrowing time in New York and for everyone, with sirens and ambulances outside, he later found that his apartment was, quote, cradling me and holding me. He found a kind of positive, uplifting sentiment in the familiarity of his space, the comfort of cooking and watching old movies. The tip, your current mundane environment, even if it's messy, can be a comforting friend and a profound source of inspiration. Look closely at where you live. Hey, I'm interested in your favorite David Byrne or Talking Heads song or album. Let me know in the comments. I respond to everyone who takes the time to comment. Tip number 4, prioritize fun over fame. When he first moved to New York, Byrne's main ambition was to be a fine artist. He found that kind of conceptual art he was making wasn't getting anywhere. But regarding the music, he told himself, this is fun, but don't get your hopes up, because there were musicians who were a lot better than him. The tip, if you enjoy the process, keep doing it, regardless of whether you think you can compete. The joy of making music is foundational reason to continue. Tip number 5, use accessible forms for complex ideas. Byrne recently worked with producer Kid Harpoon, who's known for making huge pop records with artists like Harry Styles and Miley Cyrus. Byrne sought him out because he liked the sound of those records, even though Byrne's subject matter is different. He views his own music as pop records that adhere to a pop music structure and sound, and have choruses you can sing along with. The tip? Don't be afraid to wrap your unique, conceptual, or deep material in accessible packaging. Pop structure and sound can be a vessel for complex subject matter. Tip number 6, collaboration is a social and creative healing process. Byrne feels that working with other musicians is a very kind of healing social situation because you're part of a supportive community. Furthermore, when collaboration works, it's exciting and you end up with something you would have never written on your own. The tip, seek out collaboration, not just to expand your sound, but for personal well-being. It creates a supportive community and leads to creatively surprising outcomes. Our final tip, number 7, treat performance stamina like an athlete. When preparing for his rigorous Broadway run of American Utopia, where he had to perform 8 shows in a week, Byrne consulted Hugh Jackman about stamina. Jackman gave him 2 critical pieces of advice. First, don't go out partying after the show, as shouting in a noisy bar is like adding another show to your voice. Second, don't take a nap between 2 shows in one day. Instead, power through the next one to avoid going back to zero energy and having to rev yourself up all over again. The tip? Discipline and vocal health are paramount for sustaining a serious performance career. Treat your voice and body like the professionals do. So there you have it. 7 essential tips gleaned from the amazing new interview with Rolling Stone and David Byrne. From embracing an accident that leads to the next great title to learning how to sustain 8 performances in a week, the wisdom is outstanding. Byrne realizes that the more he creates, the more questions there are out there, noting that sometimes the door just opens and you find just a whole bunch of new questions. That journey is what keeps him creatively active, trying different things, which is a kind of rare in the music world. Take time to be like David Byrne. Never retire, never stop asking questions, and never stop moving around untethered on a stage. Well, that's all that we have. Join us each week on the Long Island Sound podcast. And as I say, be generous with your joy, keep your spirits high, and let the music take you on a journey. Be well, everyone.